Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the regular council public hearing meeting to order. And we have a couple of delegations this evening, but before we get started on that, I'll look for the adoption of the various minutes
of October 24th. Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
I move the regular land use minutes of October 24th. Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
And the minutes of public hearing October 24th. Second.
And all those in favor, opposed, carried. First up this evening is a presentation by Jeanette Austin, the Executive Director of Public Works Association, British Columbia. And I believe with her tonight is Rob Costanzo, our Engineering Ops Manager, and Matthew Brown, our Drainage Superintendent for the city. Jeanette?
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Mayor and Council, for giving me this opportunity to be here this evening. The Public Works Association has been supporting public works professionals in BC for 84 years, and part of that is recognizing communities that help to celebrate public works. Each year in May, the third week of May, is National Public Works Week. And the City of Surrey submitted an application for their celebrations that they held, and they were the winners of that award. And part of that application was a video that was created, and I believe up in the stands we have a video to show you, so I'll let them watch that.
Thank you.
The City of Surrey is committed and active year-round in raising awareness of public works programs and activities across our various neighborhoods and communities. Public Works Week was a special opportunity to showcase the many programs and initiatives happening both during this important week and throughout the year. In Surrey, Public Works is about working with the community to ensure the city is a beautiful, safe, and a sustainable place to live, work, and play. During the city's Public Works Week events, city staff brought to life the passion they display in their jobs daily under a community light. The week-long event was an opportune time to share and showcase the essential work of the city's operations division and highlights their important role front and center and behind the scenes daily. During schools tours and the snowplow painting event, for example, staff were able to reach and engage audiences of all ages. This reach was extended further through displays and outreach conducted at city libraries. This year, Public Works Week had a direct tie-in to the city's Doors Open event, which was a momentous success, reaching over 8,000 participants at various locations across the city. This effort is not only limited to Public Works Week. The city's operations division has programmed in recurring annual events, such as Grade 9 Career Day and our Popsicle Bridge Building competitions. The city strives continually to explore new approaches to public works education in creative ways. Staff engagement events, large community events like the Cloverdale Rodeo Parade, and student coloring contests are examples of the city thinking outside of the box and making public works accessible and fun. Beyond education, Public Works Weeks was a time for the city to highlight one of its core values, community giving. The city has a long-standing relationship with the United Way, so bringing them in to exhibit at our Public Works Week community event was an easy decision. The city also set up a collection spot where residents could drop off non-perishable food items to donate to our local food bank. City Council helped kick off Public Works Week with an official council motion and proclamation to mark the importance of the week and encourage community participation in the many community activities planned. During Public Works Week, Council was in full attendance at the grand opening of the city's new operations center, where the ribbons were cut alongside of city employees and their families as they celebrated their new workplace. From the inception of the design and build process for the spectacular new building, Council showed an active commitment to ensure the building became a landmark site to the extent that it was recently awarded an Architectural Institute of BC Innovation Award. All in all, during Public Works Week, the city demonstrated the importance of public works to day-to-day life and reminded residents of the many reasons they chose to live, work, and play in Surrey. The City of Surrey is committed and active.
We liked it so much, we're seeing it again.
It's an excellent video and was definitely a big part of the application. But not only from the video, but the events that were held all go towards supporting the message we're trying to get across, which is how valuable Public Works is to our communities. And truly, they are the heart of each community. And so we would like to recognize Mayor and Council for the excellent job that you did, for the support that you gave your Public Works, and congratulations on winning the Community Celebration Public Works Week Award of 2016.
Thank you.
Are we going to pose for a photo?
Sure. Sure.
What are those golem the little balls of joy?
Thank you very much for that recognition, and we're pleased to see you acknowledge the work that we do to make sure that Public Works is acknowledged in our city. And I hope to some degree that our workers understand how much we value their work just by the building that won the recent architectural award, because they deserve it.
Absolutely. It's beautiful. Thank you. It's my distinct pleasure to also be able to honor another individual on your staff. Surrey has an amazing staff in many ways, but tonight we would like to recognize Jeff Welch, who won our Dedicated Service Award. Each year we recognize individuals who have not only dedicated themselves to the field of Public Works and to our association, but also to their community with their involvement, their volunteerism. And Jeff Welch has 37 years of experience here. He corrected me. I was thinking it was 39. I'm making him older than he needs to be. But 37 and a half years of experience. He's been an active member in our association for over 15 years, presenting at our conference and being involved in local groups here as well. And so this evening we would like to recognize and honor Jeff Welch for winning our Dedicated Service Award.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I've been very fortunate to work with a lot of really good people within the city, and that's helped me to get where I was. With all the different things that Surrey does, the United Way, the Big Bike Challenge, and working throughout the city, it's been a very good honor to work here, and 37 and a half years is long enough.
Jeff, you've contributed so much to the city. That's a very well-deserved recognition, and we're very proud of you that others have seen such value that we have seen for many, many decades. And they probably don't know that you've also written cookbooks.
They probably don't.
But we do. So congratulations, and we're very proud that you have received this award and acknowledge all the good work that you do.
Thank you.
Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take a moment to honor and recognize a longtime Surrey family who has made an incredible gift to the city of Surrey. With us tonight are Elaine Godwin and her sons, David and Stephen. The Godwin family has recently gifted their 26-acre Fleetwood property to the City of Surrey as a park under the Canadian Ecological Gifts Program. And in honor of the family's generosity and foresight, the park will become officially known as the Godwin Farm Biodiversity Preserve Park. This new park, which is currently being developed to allow public access, is an environmental treasure that includes a salmon-bearing stream, meadows, orchids, a small lake, forests, and one of Surrey's largest and oldest heritage trees. The Godwin family, including the late Tom Godwin, who spent many years volunteering here for us at the City of Surrey, spent decades planting the trees and improving the property that have created this lasting and living green legacy. The work they have done is a testament to the environmental passion of the Godwin family. Elaine, I want you to know that Council and I are planning a grand opening of the Godwin Farm Biodiversity Preserve Park in the spring, at which time the public will be invited to tour the park and to meet you and your family, the creators of Surrey's newest and special place. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me now in a well-deserved applause for the fantastic generosity of Elaine and her family for their extraordinary gift to the city. And I'd like to invite them up to where Council and I can present you with a recognition certificate for your enormously generous gift to us. Thank you so much.
He would be very happy.
He's photobombing.
What would we do without Rick's direction where to stand? And okay. Moving into the public hearing portion of the evening, Madam Clerk, I'd ask you for the first bylaw, please.
First bylaw is zoning amendment bylaw 18918. The location is 9639 137A Street, and the applicant is North Harper Lands Development Limited. The applicant is seeking to rezone the property from comprehensive development to comprehensive development. The applicant is proposing to allow for a private surgical center with the associated diagnostic and imaging services and overnight recovery facilities as permitted use within a 12-story office and commercial development. An increase in floor area ratio density is also being proposed.
I have no one signed up to speak to this, nor has anyone sent correspondence relative to this bylaw. Is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 1? This is, yes, sir?
I'm here representing the applicant. I just wanted to say that the increase in floor area ratio is a result of the added use for the surgical center, and it's in line with the use in the area. A little bit about the development. City Center 1 opened a couple years ago, and it has 95 GPs and specialty clinics, and to the east of the property are care facilities and a hospice, and of course to the south is the hospital. So it's in line with the of use for the area.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else wishing to speak to bylaw 1? This is the last call. Madam Clerk, the next bylaw, please.
Is zoning amendment bylaw 18922. The location is 13090 112A Avenue. The applicant is Margaret Lowe. The applicant is seeking to rezone the property from single-family residential to single-family residential 13. The applicant is proposing to subdivide the property into 4 single-family small lots. In addition, a development variance permit is being sought to reduce the minimum lot widths on all proposed lots and allow front access double garages on proposed lots 1 and 4. This will achieve consistency with the established streetscape and improve off-street parking.
And I have no one signed up speaking to this bylaw. Is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 2 on tonight's agenda? Last call for the second bylaw. Madam Clerk, bylaw 3, please.
Is zoning amendment bylaw 18919. The location is 7743 156th Street. The applicants are Henry and Sonia Bacon. The applicant is seeking to rezone the Hatch site from 1-acre residential to single-family residential. The applicant is proposing to subdivide the property into 4 single-family lots.
And there's no one signed up to speak to this bylaw. Anyone wishing to speak to the bylaw? Okay, sir, you at the back.
Sir, I want to talk about the bylaw number 2. I put my hand up, but no one.
Are you wishing to speak to bylaw number 3 on the agenda?
Number 2, please. I raised my hand up, but then you guys had already moved it.
Number 2 has come and gone.
Yeah, no, I had my hand up, but you guys not saw it.
Okay, could I have a motion to hear the speaker? Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council, and thank you for letting me speak. We had concerns about this development. I actually spoke to someone earlier today, and they advised to come here and say and tell you guys my concerns. The biggest concern we have in that area is parking. We barely have enough parking as it is, and there's a lot of no parking signs on one side of the street. With this being developed, this gentleman wants to build 4 homes, which technically would have another 16 cars to be parked there. And the way it is, we don't have enough parking, so we're hoping to get some sort of parking, like a parking lot or more parking in the area, please.
All of the homes have double garages.
But the parking itself, not all the homes have double garages there.
No, all of these homes, these
Okay.
4 proposed homes,
Okay.
each have double garages.
And how many cars would they be allowed to park there? I'm assuming there'd be 4 cars per house.
This will achieve the consistency with the established streetscape as well as improving off-site parking. So it'll be on-site.
Be outside then. Okay, sorry, that's all the concern I had. Just hoping there'd be enough parking there, that's all. Thank you.
2 and 2, and they could park in front as well. As well as the garage, they'll be able to park on the paved driveway as well. Okay, moving on, Madam Clerk, to number 3, which I believe you already read. So again, I'll call for speakers on on the third bylaw of the evening, 7743 156th Street. Is there anyone wishing to speak to this bylaw? Again, it's 4 single-family lots. Last call. Madam Clerk, bylaw 4.
Zoning Amendment Bylaw 18920 and Zoning Amendment Bylaw 18921. The location is 7789 7817 155th Street. The applicants are Belber, Ravinder, and Ravneet Kabra, and Chimney Ridge Investments Limited, Janus Land Corporation. The applicant seeking to rezone the site from general agricultural to single-family residential and comprehensive development. The applicant is proposing to subdivide the site into 28 single-family lots that are RF13 and CD15, and 1 open space lot that will be conveyed to the city.
We have a piece of correspondence on the table asking to save as many trees as possible, and we have 6 letters in support of persons not wishing to speak. I have no one signed up to speak to bylaw 4. Is there anyone wishing to speak to the 4th bylaw this evening? Last call. Madam Clerk, bylaw 5.
Zoning Amendment Bylaw 18917. The address is 13545 64th Avenue. The applicant is 0739959 BC Limited. The applicant seeking to rezone the site from Comprehensive Development Bylaw 12219 to Comprehensive Development. The applicant is proposing to allow personal services and a liquor store as permitted within an existing commercial building.
I have no one signed up to speak to this bylaw, nor any correspondence on table. Anyone wishing to speak to bylaw 5? Last call for bylaw 5. Madam Clerk, bylaw number 6.
It's Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw 18923 and Zoning Amendment Bylaw 18924. The addresses are 17241 and 17261 100th Avenue. The applicants are Arvind and Bindu Radan and Dreamcastle Homes Limited. The applicant is seeking to redesignate the site from suburban to urban and rezone the site from 1-acre residential to single-family residential. The applicant is proposing to subdivide the site into 12 single-family lots. In addition, a development variance permit is being sought to reduce the lot widths for proposed lots 5, 10, 11, and 12. This will eliminate the need for driveway access on 100th Avenue for proposed lots 10 to 12 and allow for additional road dedication near the proposed lot 5.
We have letter on table in support of this application and 2 persons signed up in opposition, neither of whom wish to speak. Is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 6 on tonight's agenda? Deb?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Deb Jack, Surrey Environmental Partners. On this site, there is a proposal to save only 3 of 62 trees, killing off 59. But I'm a bit confused. On page 8, there is a comment with regards to a multi-use path which is to go along 100 Avenue, and states it does not appear to conflict with the proposed tree retention. That's the 3 trees, and can meander around the retained trees if necessary. Well, of course, I'm concerned with regards to the phrase if necessary. I would like to know that those 3 trees would indeed be conserved. Otherwise, of course, then we have another clear cut.
Can I just get some clarification around the language in the report relative to that walkway?
Madam Mayor, through detailed design, we'd look at saving those trees. We'd meander the multi-use path. There's also different construction methods we could use to save the root system. We'd have to do a proper assessment of the health of the trees as well, so to make sure we can actually save the trees, that they're in good health to start with, and then we'll do everything.
And as we go about the meandering, is it possible we could do more than 3?
At this point, I don't believe so. I think the 3 is what we can do based on their alignments and the flexibility we have with the multi-use path.
Okay. So as much as we could guarantee, the intention is to save those trees.
Well, Your Honour, to that end, it would be useful, I think, if in cases such as this, there is an assessment of those trees to determine whether or not they will be able to be retained.
We could have them
as opposed
take a
to
look
waiting
at that.
down the line.
Yeah. I think the intention was to ensure that if we can meander around them, they will be saved, and the intention is to determine that health in advance of that would be useful. I agree with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to comment on bylaw 6? Madam Clerk, bylaw number 7.
It is zoning amendment bylaw 18863. The location is 16422, 3264, and 88 24th Avenue. The applicants are 0949048 BC Limited. The applicant is seeking to rezone the site from 1 acre residential to multiple residential 30, and is proposing to develop 60 townhouse units on the site. And in addition, there's a development variance permit being sought to reduce the north, south, east, and west side yard setbacks in order to achieve a more urban pedestrian streetscape.
I have no one, there's no correspondence, nor do I have anyone signed up for this bylaw. Anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 7? Last call for number 7. Madam Clerk, moving on to number 8, please.
Is zoning amendment bylaw 18925 and zoning amendment bylaw 18926. The location is 14338 32nd Avenue. The applicant is Kanwaldeep Sandhu. The applicant seeking to rezone the property from 1 acre residential to comprehensive development and half-acre residential. The applicant is proposing to subdivide the property into 3 single-family lots with 2 CD lots facing the future 31A Avenue and 1 RH lot facing 32nd Avenue.
No one signed up wishing to speak to this bylaw. Is there anyone wishing to make comment on bylaw number 8? Deb.
Deb Jack, Surrey Environmental Partners. Brief comment that as the city continues to develop apace with huge losses of trees and biodiversity and the whole related ecosystems, each successive loss becomes ever more important and critical. And as well, the deficits in replacement are matters of concern to Surrey Environmental Partners, along with the accompanying vegetation and all of the wildlife loss. We should keep in mind that there is over 50% of the wildlife loss is underneath the surface of the ground, which always boggles my mind. Surrey Environmental Partners likes to note occasionally when something good has been happening with regards to retention of trees and other circumstances. So I'd like to note here that there will be a retention of 51 of the 59 trees that are significant on site.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else wishing to speak to bylaw number 8? Madam Clerk, moving on to 9, please.
Is zoning amendment bylaw 18927 at 63, 75, and 89 172nd Street. The applicants are Wendy Boyko, Reese Leonard, Camby Wilson, and Brian and Janelle Somerville, Philip and Candace Leonard. The applicants are seeking to rezone the site from 1 acre residential to single-family residential 10 and single-family residential 13. The applicants are proposing to subdivide the site into 21 single-family small lots, 15 RF10s and 6 RF13s.
I have Piece of correspondence on table relative to this bylaw, opposed regarding traffic and road safety. And we have one person signed up to speak, middle of the road, neither for nor against. Laurie Smith, maybe just with questions. Good evening.
Good evening. My husband and I live at 86171, and our property in the more comprehensive map put for the development is actually even shaded in as part, even though we're not part of this development. So we would be directly to the west of the middle of that development. I don't know if you can see it on the original. And so I have a couple of questions. When we spoke again when there was a development around the Eagle Tree, and we were assured that by the developer assured you that there would be no problem to fence the back, because we actually do still have woods and an ecosystem, but we are worried that our woods would become the local dog park and maybe teen hangout, that sort of thing. And so just as we asked and received at the last time we came to a public hearing, we'd like to request that there be fencing done, so to maintain privacy and probably safety, because you worry about fire and things if kids are in there setting fires. That would be my one question. And the second one pertains to, in the development proposal, they have a remnant of the one strip that goes along First Avenue, which would be to hook into if our property was ever to be developed, that could be put together to make a lot. I guess my question would be, I note that there's a restricted covenant on that piece. Would that restrictive covenant be held by the developer, or would it be held by the lot owner of the westernmost property?
It flows with the lot, so whoever has that lot, that restrictive covenant would flow with that
lot.
Yes.
And is it my understanding in a restrictive covenant that and we would hope to be able to see that there would be some terms that we wouldn't be held to ransom? That typically, isn't it where it might go to, say that we did want to purchase that to make an extra lot. In the restrictive covenant, would it have it where it goes to fair market value based on an outside appraisal or something like that?
I will ask that question, but I don't believe so. I think it's simply a restrictive covenant, and the expectation is that the person would want to divest themselves of that property in order to advantage themselves as well as to advantage you. So there's a sort of quid pro quo going on there. Quid pro quo, okay. But I don't think that we necessarily...
But no way of sort of... making sure someone isn't held to ransom.
And we can't dictate that. If
of
that
course
person
you can't,
holds,
I understand.
Yeah,
no,
that would be my
just asking.
Yeah, I don't think so. Am I correct, Mr. Planner, Mr. Sia?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for answering
and
the
perhaps
question.
we'll just see if there's any intention now that we know of relative to the fencing, and if not, we can ask the applicant.
That would be great.
Does this application have with it the intention to fence the back property line, or do we know that? Mr. Planner?
Madam Mayor, I would refer that question to the applicant.
Thank you.
I believe her comments were in regards to the previous development application to the north primarily, so they should speak to that.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm requesting of this one as well.
That's right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So is the representative of the applicant here for bylaw number 9? We can ask that question. If you don't have the answer, we can deal with it at third reading.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Matt Reed. I'm representing the developer, and we would be happy to pay for a fence along the property line.
Thank you. So there, you have the fence. Okay, cool. Anyone else relative to bylaw 9?
Deb Jack, Surrey Environmental Partners. I'm a bit confused with regards to this application. Out of 196 trees are going to be killed off. There is a comment that one tree is located where the city boulevard is supposed to be. So I'm assuming that it's similar to the situation before, that it will be retained if at all possible in that boulevard area. However, that's not my concern. In this report, there will be a deficit of 311 replacement trees. And the fee that is being levied, if you will, is $15,000 per gross acre. And my understanding is that the tree bylaw was amended a short while ago, and that ought to be $30,000 per acre.
Clarification, please, from who's going to take that? Mr. City Planner? Seems to be, is it a timing issue? General Manager.
Madam Mayor, I would have to verify. I know that we've updated the fee per acre, and it may be that it's a progressing scale, so it may not be all happening this year. So I would have to refresh my memory.
Okay, we'll take that under advisement and make sure that we have the right number, Deb, when we collect.
Yeah, it's because it's supposed to be $400 per tree or $30,000 per acre. It's a huge difference insofar as money to the Green City Fund.
Absolutely. We'll make sure we collect the right number.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to Bylaw 9? Good evening,
Mayor and Council. Roger Jones. I live at 108 171 Street. My property also backs onto this development, and most probably part of it would be where the road ends. In the previous application of this, not this one, but the previous one, it was also mentioned that we asked for a fence along the property line. I would just like to mention that I would also like the opportunity to ask for a fence along the same property line and up to and including the road end as well. So as the road end ends at the property line, we would like that to be fenced all the way through.
To go beyond the property line or right at the property line?
Well,
at the road end.
At the because the property line is going to the road is going to come up to the edge of the property line, so the fence will go across until further times as that road eventually does go through.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. At the road end. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
We would also like that fence for the very same reasons. Thank you.
Thank you. Somebody make that note of that for the third reading. Okay. Good. Any other speaker for 9? Madam Clerk, Bylaw 10.
The zoning text amendment bylaw 18772, and this was to amend zoning bylaw 12,000 in order to insert a new single-family 13 zone incorporating floor area, lot size, and lot dimension changes from the existing single-family residential 12 zone. The bylaw text amendment 18772 is amended in Section D, density, in order to correct inadvertent reductions in the permitted floor area of new homes built on the proposed RF13 zoned lots subsequent to the changes adopted on July 11, 2016, and to achieve consistency in the method of calculating floor area in small lot zones as described in Corporate Report 2016 R236.
Anyone wishing to speak to Bylaw 10 regarding the FAR on small lot zones? Last call for number 10. Madam Clerk, Bylaw 11.
Is zoning text amendment bylaw 18899, and this is to amend zoning bylaw 12,000 in order to correct inadvertent reductions on the permitted floor area of new homes built on RF12, RF10, and RF10S zones lots subsequent to changes adopted on July 11, 2016, and to achieve consistency in the method of calculating floor areas in small lot zones as described in Corporate Report 2016 R236.
And I have no one signed up to speak to this. Is there anyone wishing to speak to this text amendment bylaw? Number 11 on the agenda. Last call. That concludes the public hearing portion of this evening's meeting. Committee reports. Seniors.
Move the recommendations. Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move the minutes of the October 6th Agriculture and Food Security Advisory Committee minutes be received.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And move the Public Art Advisory Committee minutes of October 6, 2016. Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
I'll move the minutes for the Surrey Heritage Advisory Commission of the 21st of September, 2016.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And move the recommendations.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. And under the Mayor's report, I would like to acknowledge that the World Council on City Data, the global leader in standardized city data, has awarded the City of Surrey a platinum certification. This certification around our open data and our smart city initiatives will allow Surrey to compare its best practices with other cities and measure its performance in relation to other global cities. And those cities that have received this kind of certification are few, but some of them are London, Shanghai, Los Angeles, Dubai, Johannesburg. Surrey is the only city in British Columbia and in Western Canada to receive such certification. And I just want to talk for a moment about what the certification actually means. It identifies over 100 indicators that talk about themes that are structured around the economy, around the environment, around energy, around governance, around health, safety, around telecommunications, around water and sanitation. And Surrey has received some fairly strong accolades by the President and CEO of the World Council of City Data, who says that not only are we the first city in British Columbia to be acknowledged, but that the City of Surrey stands out in Canada and globally as a leader in working to create a more sustainable, resilient, inclusive, and prosperous future. So I'm very proud of this recognition. I think it's great. I want to thank Councillor Hayne for leading the initiative on many of our smart city initiatives, but accolades to staff for making sure that we stand out globally as a leader in that, and Council for all of the work that you've done to make that possible. We have several proclamations. There is a report later on in Council, by the way, on that, and Councillor Hayne, perhaps you could speak to that then. We have several proclamations this evening. Louis Riel Day, November 16th, whereas the Métis people are recognized in the Constitution Act of 1982 as one of Canada's Aboriginal peoples with a homeland across Canada, and whereas approximately 40% of Aboriginal people in Surrey identified themselves as Métis. And whereas Louis Riel Day serves to remind us that Louis Riel was a persistent advocate for the rights of the Métis people and a symbol of Native independence. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Linda Hepner, do hereby declare November 16, 2016 as Louis Riel Day in the City of Surrey, to recognize his commitment to justice and the contribution made by the Métis Nation in the formation of our country. World Pancreatic Cancer Day, November 17, whereas pancreatic cancer is seldom detected in its early stages, as it is often asymptomatic, and whereas pancreatic cancer can be cured when diagnosed early, and whereas in 2016 there will be 4,800 Canadians diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and 4,600 receiving a terminal diagnosis. Whereas it is important to create awareness and educate both the general public and health professionals about the disease, and to raise research funds leading to earlier detection and better treatments. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Linda Hepner, do hereby declare November 17 as World Pancreatic Cancer Day in the City of Surrey. English as an Additional Language Week, November 20 through 26, whereas immigrants have added to our province's diversity and the culture of our local areas by bringing their culture, customs, skills, and heritage. And whereas learners of English as an additional language represent a large number of students of elementary and secondary schools, colleges, and universities, all pursuing literacy skills. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Linda Hepner, do hereby declare the week of November 20 through 26 as English as an additional language week in the city of Surrey. The 50th anniversary of independence for Barbados. Whereas Barbados gained independence from Britain on November 30, 1966. Whereas the city of Surrey embraces the diverse culture and celebrates this important day with Barbadians within our community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Linda Hepner, do hereby declare November 30 as the 50th anniversary of independence for Barbados in the city of Surrey. World Diabetes Day, November 14. Whereas diabetes is a serious condition affecting more than 30 million people worldwide, including 3 million Canadians, and many of our fellow residents of Surrey and their families living with this disease. And whereas World Diabetes Day has become a year-long campaign to reflect the realities of people living with diabetes. And whereas the United Nations General Assembly has designated the World Diabetes Day, November 14, as an official United Nations World Health Day to recognize the diabetes epidemic. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Linda Hepner, do hereby declare November 14 as World Diabetes Day in the city of Surrey. Moving on to corporate reports, Council looking for R238.
Move the recommendation of the bylaw enforcement activities report.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R239, approval of sale of the closed portion of road allowance adjacent to 13400, 13408, and 13418 103rd and 10281 University Drive.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried.
Move R240, City of Surrey Energy Update and Rate Review.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R241, award of contract for the sanitary sewer video inspection program.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And move R242, the wonderful gift of the ecological property at 9016 164th Street, the Godwin Farm Biodiversity Preserve Park.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. That was earlier this evening, the dedication of the 26 acres for a biodiversity add-on in our city.
Move number R243, sponsorship request for the Lighted Santa Claus Parade.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried.
Move R244, late grant application.
Second.
This is for the Kekanaw Native Housing Society's anniversary celebration. Thank you very much, particularly to June, for all the work that has been done on that. So I want to acknowledge that, and I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried.
Move R2445, application for UBCM Age Friendly Communities Grant Program.
Second.
All those in favor? Councillor Steele speaking to the motion.
Madam Mayor, if I could just speak to this for one moment.
Sure.
The purpose of this is to seek the approval, obviously, to submit application for the Age Friendly Communities Grant Program from UBCM. This is a project, a summit, and a project that we are hoping to host next year. And it's to bring together industry professionals, experts to share and discuss leading practices amongst seniors and to maximize their independence, safety, resilience, and social connectedness. It's a big summit. It would be a great award for us to be able to host this.
Okay, thank you very much for all your work you've done with seniors, because I think it's because of that kind of work that we're the opportunity to have the provincial summit here is
exactly
close at hand. Call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried.
Move R246, 2017 staff inclusion calendar.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move R247, Platinum Certification on ISO 37120, Sustainable Development of Communities.
Second.
Councillor Hain.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and you spoke to it already in your report very well. But I would like to echo what you said about the staff commitment to smart city strategies and what it really means not only to our city but cities around the world. And as we know, we're twice now top 7 intelligent communities of the year globally, and this kind of recognition is truly gratifying to see that the work that we're doing and the commitment to open data and creating smart city strategies in Surrey is being recognized, and now it's being recognized globally. And you mentioned the President and CEO of World Council on City Data, Patricia McCarney, and I have the opportunity later this week to speak at a conference where she will also be speaking on this topic, and she's going to be using a lot of the data sets from Surrey in her talk. So it's very appropriate, and I'm really looking forward to that opportunity to meet her and to discuss what's going on in Surrey.
That's great, and we can check out and see some of the other global cities that are leaders in this sustainability analysis. See what Dubai and London and Johannesburg are doing, and where we how we measure ourselves up against those. That's wonderful.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? That's great. Thank you. Carried.
Move R248, the award of contract for design build of the community ice arena in South Westminster.
Happily second.
That's great. And for the public that is listening, I believe this is now 3 sheets of ice that we'll be putting in this arena as opposed to a single or a double. So thank you for the work you've done on that, staff. R249 on table.
I'll move that recommendation.
I'll
to
second.
Support the in-source consulting application for federal funding to develop an innovative homelessness strategy.
And did I hear you second that, Councillor LaFranc? Okay, thank you. Speaking to it, Councillor?
Yes. Thank you so much. So in-source consulting is proposing to use a complex adaptive systems approach to further develop and refine strategies for reducing homelessness in Surrey. I know that in Surrey we have a problem like many other regions in Canada where we have a growing need for homeless services. And Dr. John Miller will certainly bring some skills that we haven't seen before in addressing this problem. So it will be a strong evidence-based approach combined with a facilitated community process that will bring all key stakeholders together to develop a visionary strategy that will stress the provision of integrated, comprehensive, coordinated, and efficient services. And I think that as a city, we really want to see that happen in our community. The other thing I wanted to stress is that 10 years ago next year, this council agreed to form the Surrey Homelessness and Housing Society, and next year would be a great year to the 10-year anniversary to revision that plan and to create a new plan that would bring us forward with a sense of a net zero homeless population in Surrey. Anyway, I'm pleased to have this on the table today.
Thank you, Councillor. And thank you for all the great work you do around this. I think that if there's innovation and the opportunity for innovation, we're all looking forward to seeing that come as a result of this. So calling the question, all those in favour, opposed, and that's carried. I'll get that letter off before the end of the week, Councillor. Okay. Moving on to bylaws and permits, business arising. Number 1.
I'll move third on number 1.
Second.
All those in favour, opposed, and that's carried.
And I'll move third on number 2.
Second.
All those in favour, opposed, carried.
And I'll move that Council support the issuance of development variance permit 79160234 upon final adoption.
Second.
Bylaw.
All those in favour, opposed, carried.
And number 3, move third.
Second.
All those in favour, opposed, carried.
And number 4, move third.
Second.
All those in favour, opposed, carried.
And move third on the zoning bylaw.
Second.
All those in favour, opposed, carried.
I'm going to move denial on number 5.
I'll second that.
Madam Mayor.
Okay, speaking to that, Councillor Hain.
Thanks, Madam Mayor, and I will be supporting the denial on this. And for me, it's not personally, it's not so much a proliferation. Say that 3 times of liquor stores in the area, because there is that 1 kilometer zone exclusion. But in this particular case at this building, and I just went by it on Saturday, and it really is an office building. That's what it is. And so I think we're trying to put a square peg in a round hole with this one. It's a right in, right out on 64 with a very, very limited parking lot. And I just, I think if we are going to contemplate another liquor, an LRS store in this area, I think there's probably a much more convenient one for the community. But I just don't, I'm not going to support it tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Villeneuve.
Well, Councillor Hain made most of my points, but I will say the access and egress to this site, very difficult, and the parking situation is horrendous because I've accessed some office services in that building before, and just aware of the situation, I don't think it's the appropriate spot for a liquor store, so that's why I put forward the denial.
Seeing no other speakers, I'll call the question on denial. All those in favour? Opposed? Denial carries.
I'll move third on 6.
Second.
All those in favour? Opposed? Carried.
And move third on the zoning bylaw.
Second.
All those in favour? Opposed? And that's carried.
And I'll move that Council support the issuance of development variance permit 79130193 upon final adoption of the related bylaw.
All those in favour? Opposed? Carried.
Move third on 7.
Second.
All those in favour? Opposed? Carried. This is
and move
Councillor Woods speaking to 7. Although
thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I'm going to be opposing this. Again, I have issues with the schools in that area, specifically the Pacific Heights School. I have a hard time believing that only the 20 townhouses are going to only produce 20 elementary students. I just don't believe that, and I think that all the development that's happening in that area, that one particular elementary school in a year, 2 years, is going to have an influx of a huge amount of young students.
Thank you, Councillor. We do rely on the school board for that number, don't we? But there you go. Okay, I called the question. I think it's passed already, Madam Clerk, hasn't it? But we will note Councillor Wood's denial. Thank you.
So
or opposition, rather.
Development variance 79140280.
Second.
All those in favour? Opposed?
Opposed.
And that's carried. Number 8.
Move third on number 8.
Second.
Okay. All those in favour? Opposed?
And move third on the zoning bylaw.
Second.
For the one single-family lot.
All those in favour? Opposed? And that's carried.
And I'll move third on number 9.
Second.
Okay, that's the one. Councillor Woods on 9.
Yes, Madam Mayor. I'm also going to be opposing this. It's the removal of the trees is just horrendous here. And out of 125 trees, we're going to be replacing with 12 trees. I just don't agree with that. I think the density is far too dense for that area. And I'm not going to be supporting this.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Villeneuve.
I just noticed during the public hearing there were 2 residents that have requested fencing, and one is through the road end. So I'm just going to say that the developer did say that they would put up the fences, and I'd like that in the minutes to make sure that it does happen.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor LaFranc.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm also going to oppose this development application because of the density and the tree loss. I just think that it's extreme to take away 125 trees, significant trees, and only replace them with 12. Thanks.
Okay, Councillor Villeneuve.
One thing that did come forward was a concern about the contribution to the Green City Fund. So I'd also like to make sure that that is cleared up so that the city receives the benefit that it should.
Maybe you could let us know what that number is, just to clarify by way of memo that.
Thank you.
Mr. Planner.
Madam Mayor, I verified, and it went from $15,000 to $30,000 at the last update of the zoning bylaw.
Oh, it did go to
the tree cutting bylaw. Yeah.
Okay, so
we'll make the.
So we'll collect the 30,000. Okay, thank you. And thank you to Deb for bringing that to our attention and reminding us that. We may have seen that at the time of collection, but it's always nice to be forewarned as forearmed. Okay, I'm going to call the question on 9. All those in favor? Opposed?
Opposed.
So noted, Madam Clerk, and that is carried. Number 10?
Move third on 10.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move third on 11.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried.
On number 12, move the DVP 7916017200 be approved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 13, move the DVP 79160009 be approved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 14, move the DVP 7916038400 be approved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 15, move the DVP 79160388 be approved.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 16, move the DVP 7912028801 be approved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 17, move the DVP 7916042400 be approved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 18, move the DVP 7916043500 be approved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 19, move DVP 79160430 be approved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 20, move DVP 7916043700 be approved.
Second.
And all those in favor? In opposition? Carried.
On 21, move that DVP 7916041000 be approved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposition? Carried.
On 22, move DVP 7914023201 be approved.
Second.
All those in favor? In opposition? Carried.
On 23, move final adoption on the first zoning.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On move second final adoption on the second zoning.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Also on 23, move DVP 7915018300 be approved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 24, move that council support the issuance of DVP 7912026501. If supported, the DVP will be brought forward for issuance and execution in conjunction with the final adoption of the related bylaw.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 25, move the council support the issuance of DVP 7916010600. If supported, the DVP will be brought forward for issuance and execution in conjunction with the final approval of the associated DP 7916010600.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 26, move council support the issuance of DVP 7916010800. If supported, the DVP will be brought forward for issuance and execution in conjunction with the final approval of associated DP permit 7916010800.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 27, move that council support the issuance of DVP 7915029800. If supported, the DVP will be brought forward for issuance and execution once the outstanding conditions have been met.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move final adoption number 28.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 29, move first.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move second.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And move third.
Second.
And all those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried.
So on item number 30 on the Surrey close and remove dedication of highway of Portion Road adjacent to 179, 29 8009 and 8055 152 Street, move first.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move second.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move third.
Second.
And all those in favor, opposed, carried.
On the Surrey Secondary Suite Service Fee Bylaw, move first.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move second.
Second.
In favor, opposed, carried.
Move third.
Second.
And all those in favor, excuse me, in opposition, carried.
On item 32, the Waste Management Regulation and Charges Bylaw, move first.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Move second.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Third.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, and that's carried.
And move the acting mayor appointments for February 2017 to October 2018.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, and that's carried. Any notices of motion, councillors? Any other business?
Madam Mayor?
Councillor Woods.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. On the 7th of October, I attended a performance by the Royal Canadian Theatre Company, which is a local Surrey theatre company, at the Arts Centre. And before that, there was a little social, and at that time, they presented to myself and for the mayor and for all the council a certificate of appreciation. And the certificate reads, "We wish to express our deep gratitude for your support and encouragement you have made achieving this milestone in our growth possible, and we honor our contribution to the arts community and especially to the Royal Canadian Theatre Company." So this was their anniversary celebration, and that's a company that's a bunch of amateur actors that are growing in the city, and we did make some space available for them on the Parkway in Wally here. So they're very appreciative, and it was an enjoyable evening. So thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thanks for your comments, Councillor Woods. Any other business?
Move adjournment.
I would remind everyone to acknowledge all of the sacrifices of those who have fought in wars for our freedoms, and hope to see everyone at a Remembrance Day service over the weekend. And on that, I'd ask for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, opposed, and that's carried.